Many women need to understand relationships are meant to add value to your life, not to take away from it. The first thing you should never do is lose yourself in the presence of any man. A man is not meant to define who you are. You must maintain your individuality, your dreams, and your personal journey, for it is only when you stand firm in your identity that you can truly contribute to a relationship. The second thing is never to settle for less than you deserve. You are a woman of worth, and settling for anything less than respect, love, and equality diminishes that value. Never compromise your standards out of fear of being alone. Your self-worth is not to be bargained. Never let a man control your emotions. Your emotional stability should never be at the mercy of another. It's your responsibility to protect your heart, to keep it whole and secure, because no one else can protect it like you can. You must learn to control your feelings, not let them control you. Also, never put your life on hold for any man. A relationship is a partnership, not a sacrifice of your dreams. You have a purpose, you have goals, and while love is beautiful, your mission in life must not be placed on pause just to cater to the whims of another. You should never tolerate disrespect in any form. A man who disrespects you does not love you. It is not a sign of strength or loyalty to allow mistreatment, because respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship. If there is no respect, there is no true love. Don't ignore red flags. Your intuition as a woman is powerful. If something feels wrong, trust that feeling. It's a signal, not a suggestion. You can't afford to ignore signs of manipulation, control, or deceit, because they will only grow with time. Never sacrifice your peace for the sake of love. No relationship, no matter how deep, should bring you continuous chaos. True love brings peace, not conflict, not anxiety. Protect your peace at all costs. You must also understand that you should never allow anyone to dictate your future. Your future belongs to you, not to any man. You hold the keys to your destiny. Do not let anyone determine the course of your life. Make decisions that align with your calling and your purpose. Don't lose sight of your purpose. You are here for a reason, and a relationship should only complement that purpose, not replace it. Never let a man take away your vision for your life. A strong woman knows that a relationship adds value, but it does not define her. Finally, don't allow unhealthy dependency. A man should not be your emotional crutch or your source of validation. You are complete on your own. Never let anyone reduce you to a place where you feel you cannot stand without them. Your strength, your power, your value, all come from within. A woman who understands these principles will never be bound by circumstances or relationships. She will stand strong in her purpose, knowing that love is meant to enhance her life, not to define it. In a relationship, it's easy to get caught up in the dynamics of love and connection. But one of the most important things you must remember is not to lose yourself. Too often, women pour so much of their energy into their partner, adjusting, compromising, and even changing aspects of who they are to make the relationship work or to please the other person. While relationships require effort and sacrifice, you must never lose sight of your own identity in the process. Your dreams, your ambitions, and your values are the core of who you are, and if you allow them to be overshadowed by another person, you risk losing the essence of yourself. A healthy relationship should empower you, not erase who you are. When you lose yourself, you start to feel disconnected, unsure, and at times even resentful. You might find that you're living for someone else's desires while neglecting your own needs and desires. This creates an imbalance where your happiness depends on another person's approval or presence, and that can be dangerous because you cannot control another person's actions or feelings. It's essential to stay grounded in your own purpose, to nurture your personal growth and self-care. A strong woman maintains her individuality, knowing that her value doesn't depend on a relationship. She keeps pursuing her goals, her passions, and her vision, with or without a partner. When you remain true to who you are, you bring authenticity into the relationship. Your partner will not only appreciate you for who you are, but will also be inspired by your strength and independence. You are not incomplete without someone. You are whole, and a healthy partnership is meant to add to your life, not to replace or diminish who you are. Relationships should be built on mutual respect, understanding, and support, where both individuals thrive independently and together. Don't ever let anyone convince you that you need to change or sacrifice your true self to keep their love. The best relationships are those where both individuals bring their full selves to the table, growing together without losing who they are individually. Settling for less than you deserve is a trap that many women fall into, often out of fear, insecurity, or the pressure to avoid being alone. It's important to understand that you are worthy of the best, and your value is not defined by how much you're willing to tolerate. When you settle for less, you're telling the world and yourself that you're not enough to receive what you truly deserve. Over time, this erodes your sense of self-worth, leaving you with feelings of dissatisfaction and resentment. The truth is, you deserve love that uplifts you, respect that affirms your value, and a partnership that supports your growth. If a relationship doesn't offer you these foundational elements, you're allowing yourself to settle for something less than what you need to thrive. Never compromise your happiness or your dignity in the name of companionship. Often we settle because we fear that we won't find anything better or that we'll be alone. But settling for someone who does not honor or appreciate you is far more damaging than standing alone while you wait for the right person. When you settle for less, you diminish your standards, and in doing so, you attract more of the same relationships that don't meet your needs or respect your worth. True love does not ask you to compromise your core beliefs or your values. A healthy relationship is one where both partners elevate each other. You are deserving of a love that encourages you to be your best self, that values your mind, heart, and soul, and that pushes you to grow and reach your full potential. Never let fear make you settle for mediocrity in your relationships. Have the courage to wait for the right one who will treat you with the respect, admiration, and love that you give so freely. Know that by holding out for what you truly deserve, you are showing the world that you value yourself, and that you will never settle for anything less than a love that honors your worth. Your emotions are a reflection of your inner world, and they should never be controlled by anyone other than yourself. It's easy to fall into the trap of allowing another person to dictate how you feel, especially in a relationship where emotions run deep. But you must understand that the power to control your feelings lies within you, not in the hands of anyone else. When you let another person influence or control your emotions, you are giving away your personal power. You place your happiness, your peace, and your mental well-being in someone else's hands, and that can lead to chaos, instability, and frustration. A healthy relationship doesn't require you to lose control over your emotions. Instead, it should encourage emotional stability and understanding. While it's natural to feel a range of emotions, joy, anger, frustration, or sadness, no one should have the power to manipulate or dictate those feelings for their own benefit. When you allow someone to make you feel upset, insecure, or angry all the time, you are letting them control your emotional state, and that leads to a cycle of emotional dependence. It's crucial to recognize that your emotional responses are a reflection of how you choose to react to situations. When someone disrespects you, tries to manipulate you, or makes you feel unworthy, you always have the choice of how you respond. You can choose peace, you can choose to remain calm, and you can choose not to let the actions of another person disturb your emotional equilibrium. It takes strength and emotional maturity to not let someone else's behavior define your emotional state. You are responsible for your own feelings, and that responsibility empowers you. When you take full control of your emotional responses, you can navigate relationships with a clear mind, with resilience, and with the ability to set boundaries. You will never feel at the mercy of someone else's mood or actions, because you've established that your emotional well-being is non-negotiable. When you refuse to let anyone control your emotions, you take back your power. You learn how to set healthy boundaries and communicate effectively without being swept away by emotional highs or lows. Your emotional peace becomes a choice, not something dictated by circumstances or other people. The more you practice this, the more you will see that no one can dictate your emotional state unless you allow it. You are the keeper of your emotions, and this self-awareness brings freedom, strength, and true emotional stability. Too many women fall into the trap of putting their lives on hold for the sake of a relationship, thinking that love is the ultimate goal and everything else must come second. This mindset can be dangerous because it teaches you to prioritize someone else's needs and desires over your own. When you stop pursuing your passions, dreams, and goals in favor of someone else, you lose a vital part of yourself. A healthy relationship should complement your life, not become the sole focus of it. There's a dangerous illusion that if you focus solely on a partner, you will receive all the love, fulfillment, and validation you need. But that's simply not true. Your life is yours to live, and while love can enhance your journey, it should never be the only thing driving your decisions. Your dreams, your ambitions, your purpose in life should always come first, even when you're in a relationship. When you stop pursuing these things, you're not only sacrificing your personal growth, but you also risk growing resentful over time. You must remember that you are a complete person before you enter into any relationship. No one else is responsible for your happiness or for fulfilling your potential. If you put your life on hold, you may wake up one day feeling unfulfilled or lost, wondering who you are outside of the relationship. Your partner should encourage you to pursue your dreams, support your goals, and walk alongside you as you both grow individually and together. Being in a relationship does not mean you have to abandon your personal growth or give up on what matters most to you. In fact, the healthiest relationships are those in which both individuals continue to grow, evolve, and strive for their own dreams while also supporting each other's progress. Your dreams should not take a backseat to someone else's desires, no matter how important the relationship seems. Never forget that your journey, your growth, and your purpose matter. It's okay to take time for yourself, to focus on what you need to achieve, and to work toward your own fulfillment. A relationship should be a part of your life, but it should never consume your entire life. When you stay true to yourself, your goals, and your vision, you invite a deeper, more meaningful connection with your partner, one where both of you can thrive without sacrificing your individual paths. Disrespect is one of the most damaging things that can exist in any relationship. It chips away at your dignity, undermines your value, and creates an environment where your worth is never fully appreciated. When you tolerate disrespect, you are allowing someone to treat you in ways that diminish your sense of self and violate your boundaries. It's crucial to understand that respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without it, the relationship is built on a shaky, unstable ground. You deserve to be treated with kindness, honor, and consideration. Disrespect can take many forms, whether it's verbal abuse, neglect, dishonesty, or even subtle actions that undermine your confidence. The most dangerous thing about disrespect is that it often starts small with comments or behaviors that may seem insignificant in the moment. But when you allow these actions to slide, they grow over time, eroding the trust and affection that once existed. What starts as one offhand comment can become a pattern of behavior that leaves you feeling small, unimportant, or unloved. When you tolerate disrespect, you are telling the other person that their behavior is acceptable, even when it isn't. This only encourages them to continue mistreating you. It's not a sign of love or loyalty to accept less than you deserve. In fact, accepting disrespect only keeps you trapped in unhealthy dynamics that prevent you from experiencing the full love, care, and respect you are worthy of. You are not meant to endure behavior that diminishes your sense of self. It's important to stand firm in your boundaries and be willing to walk away from situations or relationships where you are not being respected. This doesn't mean being harsh or unkind, but it means protecting your peace and your worth. You must recognize that your value is not dependent on someone else's treatment of you. If someone truly loves and values you, they will respect you. If they cannot treat you with the respect you deserve, then it's time to reassess the relationship. You are worthy of love that uplifts you, that sees you for who you are, and that honors your needs. No one has the right to diminish your value or treat you poorly. Never settle for less than respect, for you are deserving of the best in every relationship. Ignoring red flags in a relationship can be one of the most dangerous things you can do to yourself because it often sets the stage for deeper problems down the road. Red flags are not mere warnings, they are signs that something is wrong, something that, if left unchecked, can lead to emotional, mental, and even physical harm. Too often, when we're deeply involved or hopeful for the future, we tend to overlook these early signals, hoping they'll go away or that they don't really mean much. But the truth is, red flags rarely disappear on their own. In fact, ignoring them is like allowing a small crack in a dam to go unaddressed, and eventually that crack will widen, causing more damage. Red flags come in many forms. They might show up as behaviors that make you uncomfortable: lying, manipulation, jealousy, or controlling tendencies. They can also show up as inconsistencies in a partner's actions and words. When someone says one thing but does another, it's a red flag. If you feel a sense of unease or dread about the way they treat you, it's not something to brush aside. These feelings are signals from within that you need to pay attention to. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is rationalizing someone's bad behavior, thinking that it's just a phase, that they'll change, or that you can fix them. But real change doesn't happen unless the person is willing to acknowledge their issues and make the effort to change. People's actions speak louder than their words, and a person who is unwilling to respect your boundaries or acknowledge your concerns is showing you who they really are, no matter how much they might say they care about you. When you ignore red flags, you are allowing your instincts to be silenced. Women, especially, have a unique ability to sense when something isn't right, but often, due to societal conditioning, fear of being alone, or desperation for love, many choose to disregard their intuition. Trusting your gut is one of the most powerful tools you have. If something feels off, it probably is. Pay attention to those gut feelings because they are warning you long before your mind can rationalize the situation. Furthermore, when you ignore red flags, you are essentially teaching others how to treat you. If you allow bad behavior to go unchallenged, you are setting a precedent for what is acceptable and what is not. Over time, these behaviors escalate, and you may find yourself stuck in a cycle of toxicity and hurt. This is not love. Love respects, honors, and values, and it thrives in an environment where both partners are aware of each other's boundaries and needs. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions of a relationship, but protecting your heart, mind, and well-being should always come first. Recognizing and addressing red flags early on can save you from heartbreak, unnecessary stress, and even abuse. Trust yourself enough to walk away when something doesn't feel right. When you respect yourself enough to not ignore the warning signs, you are making space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships that honor who you are and bring you the peace you deserve. Peace is one of the most valuable assets you can have, and it should never be compromised, especially for the sake of love. In relationships, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that love means constantly making sacrifices, putting your partner's needs before your own, and even tolerating situations that disturb your emotional and mental peace. But true love is never meant to come at the cost of your inner peace. If the love you're experiencing creates turmoil, anxiety, and constant stress, it's time to reassess what love really is. When you sacrifice your peace for the sake of someone else, you begin to lose sight of yourself. You allow the chaos of the relationship to take root in your life, giving away your calm and stability in exchange for temporary moments of affection or connection. But this imbalance will not last. Over time, the emotional toll will catch up to you. You may feel exhausted, drained, and emotionally overwhelmed, and all the love you thought you were giving and receiving will feel hollow, as if something essential is missing. That something is peace. Peace isn't just the absence of conflict, it's a sense of stability and contentment that comes from being centered in who you are, no matter what's happening around you. If someone's actions or behavior constantly disturb your peace, whether through manipulation, disrespect, or emotional volatility, then the relationship is not healthy, no matter how much love is claimed. Love should lift you, not bring you down. It should create a space for you to grow, to be your authentic self, and to feel safe and supported. The idea of sacrificing peace for love often comes from a place of fear, the fear of losing a relationship, the fear of being alone, or the fear that you're not worthy of better. But this mindset allows you to settle for situations that diminish your value and well-being. if love requires you to endure emotional chaos. If it takes away your peace, it is not worth it. Real love nurtures peace, it fosters understanding, and it encourages both partners to feel safe and secure within themselves and the relationship. True love brings clarity, not confusion. It should never demand that you live in a state of constant stress or emotional discomfort. Your mental and emotional health are too precious to be sacrificed for the sake of keeping a relationship afloat. When you choose peace, you're choosing yourself. You're saying that your well-being is not negotiable and that you deserve love that supports your peace rather than disrupts it. Choosing peace means having the courage to set boundaries, to walk away from relationships that are unhealthy, and to prioritize your emotional and mental health above all else. It doesn't mean abandoning love, but it means understanding that you deserve love that complements your life, not one that disrupts your calm and serenity. When you protect your peace, you allow space for a love that is healthy, genuine and uplifting, one that makes you feel whole, secure, and deeply valued. Your future is one of the most important aspects of your life, and no one should have the power to control or dictate it but you. Too often, people allow others, whether it's a partner, family member, or society at large, to impose their expectations and desires on them, shaping their life path based on someone else's vision instead of their own. When you let someone else dictate your future, you surrender control over your own dreams, your aspirations, and your happiness. You lose the ability to fully create the life you deserve because you're too focused on meeting the needs of others or fulfilling their vision of what your life should look like. Every person is born with their own unique gifts, desires, and purpose. It's your responsibility to cultivate those gifts and live in alignment with your values and dreams. Allowing someone else to take the reins of your future means you're sacrificing your personal journey and your potential to live a life that is truly fulfilling. While others may have their opinions, ideas, or suggestions about what you should do with your life, it's essential to remember that only you know what truly aligns with your heart and your soul. The fear of disappointing others or not meeting their expectations can be overwhelming, but it's important to recognize that no one has the right to decide what your life should be. You may face pressure from loved ones or even society to follow a certain path, whether it's regarding your career, relationships, or lifestyle choices. But in the end, it's your life, and you should be the one who determines what success and happiness mean to you. No one else has the power to live your life or make decisions on your behalf. When you let someone dictate your future, you not only give away your power, but you also risk falling into a life that doesn't reflect your true self. This can lead to feelings of resentment, regret, and a sense of unfulfillment. Life is too precious to waste by living someone else's dream. Your purpose, your vision, and your goals are yours alone to pursue, and only you have the ability to bring them to life. Having the courage to follow your own path might be difficult at times, especially if those around you don't understand or support your decisions. But the only way to live a truly meaningful life is to align your choices with your deepest values and passions. When you are true to yourself, you will attract the right people and opportunities that resonate with your authentic purpose. In the end, you are the architect of your own destiny. You have the power to create the life you want, to chase the dreams that excite you, and to design a future that reflects who you truly are. Don't allow anyone, no matter how well-meaning they may be, to steer you off course. Your future is in your hands, and it's up to you to shape it according to your vision. Be bold, be brave, and live the life you were meant to live on your own terms. Your purpose is the driving force behind everything you do, the foundation upon which your decisions, actions, and dreams are built. It's easy to get distracted by the demands and pressures of daily life, the opinions of others, and the pursuit of things that are not aligned with your true calling. But when you lose sight of your purpose, you risk drifting through life without direction or fulfillment. Your purpose is what gives your life meaning and focus, and it is essential to stay connected to it, no matter what challenges or distractions arise along the way. When you are connected to your purpose, you have a sense of direction and clarity. You make decisions based on your values, and every step you take feels intentional, leading you closer to the life you were meant to live. Your purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through the ups and downs of life. It helps you stay focused when things get tough and gives you the strength to push through obstacles. Unhealthy dependency can be one of the most subtle yet dangerous patterns in any relationship. It can develop over time, often without either party fully realizing its impact. Dependency occurs when one person relies too heavily on the other for emotional, financial, or even mental well-being. This dependency can create an imbalance where one person feels burdened by the other's needs, while the dependent person loses their sense of self and independence. This dynamic can rob both individuals of the opportunity to grow, learn, and be the best versions of themselves. A healthy relationship is one where both individuals are complete, self-sufficient people who come together to share, support, and grow. When one person becomes overly dependent on the other, they begin to give away their power and lose the ability to function outside of the relationship. They may feel anxious, insecure, or even fearful of being abandoned, believing that their happiness is entirely dependent on their partner's actions or approval. This creates an environment of emotional volatility, where the dependent person is often caught in a cycle of seeking validation or reassurance, while the other person feels overwhelmed or trapped. It's also important to understand that dependency can strain the relationship itself. No one wants to feel like they are carrying all the weight. The more one person depends on the other, the more the relationship becomes unbalanced, which can lead to frustration, resentment, and even burnout. This does not mean that support, love, and care should not exist in a relationship, but it should be shared equally. Both individuals should feel supported and free to be themselves without the overwhelming pressure to fix each other or fulfill all needs. To avoid unhealthy dependency, it's crucial to cultivate self-awareness and personal independence. Work on strengthening your own emotional resilience, developing your own interests, and fostering your own happiness. Don't rely on anyone else to complete you or define your worth. Your value is intrinsic, and it's important to remember that no one else can carry your emotional load or take responsibility for your peace of mind. True love and connection come from two individuals who choose to walk together, but who are strong and whole on their own. When you learn to nurture your own well-being, you create a space for a healthier, more fulfilling relationship, one where both partners can grow, support each other, and thrive independently and together. Healthy interdependence, where both individuals are complete and come together to complement one another, is the key to a thriving, balanced relationship. In life, you must remember that your worth, peace, and future are in your hands. Never allow yourself to be defined or dictated by someone else, for you are the architect of your own destiny.